They dismissed her for years, until the day she walked into the boardroom with the one thing they never saw coming, the truth in her name. My name is Olivia Grant. I'm 31, and I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, where my family always saw me as the quiet one. My older sister Vanessa was the family star, a high-flying corporate lawyer with a corner office. My brother Ethan was the tech genius, always pitching startups to investors. Me? I was just the assistant at Pinnacle Innovations, a struggling tech firm in Raleigh. They thought I booked meetings and made coffee. They didn't know I'd built the project that saved the company from collapse. Until the boardroom fell silent. It all started last spring at our family's Easter brunch in Raleigh. The table was set with Mom's china, everyone dressed up, but the conversation revolved around Vanessa's latest case and Ethan's new app idea. I passed the biscuits, staying quiet, until Vanessa smirked. "Olivia, still running errands for your boss?" Ethan laughed. "What's it like being a secretary in a dying company?" Mom gave me a sympathetic smile. "It's a good job, dear." Dad just nodded, distracted by his phone. Their words stung, but I was used to it. To them, I was the invisible sibling, not worth a second thought. The truth? I wasn't just an assistant. At Pinnacle, I'd spent 3 years working late nights on a side project, a data analytics platform to optimize the company's failing supply chain. Pinnacle was bleeding money, losing clients to bigger firms, and layoffs loomed. My platform, codenamed Nexus, used predictive algorithms to streamline deliveries, cutting costs by 40%. I'd pitched it to my boss, David Mercer, who called it promising, but took it to the CEO, claiming it was his idea. When Nexus launched internally, it saved 2 major contracts, pulling Pinnacle back from the brink. David got a bonus. I got a "thanks, Olivia." I could have let it go. I liked my low-key life, my small Raleigh apartment, my quiet wins. But at that brunch, Ethan's jab hit hard. "Pinnacle's a sinking ship, Liv. Why don't you get a real job?" Vanessa chimed in. "Maybe you can assist at my firm." I smiled, saying nothing, but something snapped. I'd saved Pinnacle, yet my family saw me as a glorified errand runner. David was set to present Nexus to the board next month, likely taking full credit again. I wasn't going to let him or my family erase me anymore. I started building my case. I had emails to David with Nexus's specs, timestamps showing I'd coded it on my personal laptop. I found meeting notes where he'd called it Olivia's prototype before claiming it himself. My coworker, Mia, who'd helped test Nexus, confirmed my role. "David's riding your coattails," she said over coffee in downtown Raleigh. "You need to speak up." I nodded, but a direct complaint would get me fired. David was tight with the CEO, Karen Walsh. I needed a bigger stage. The board meeting was Pinnacle's make-or-break moment. They were pitching Nexus to a major investor, Horizon Capital, to secure funding and avoid bankruptcy. David was the star presenter, but I'd learned Vanessa and Ethan would be there too. Vanessa as Horizon's legal counsel, Ethan as a tech consultant. Perfect. They'd mocked me for years. Now they'd see my work save the company they thought I was ruining. I reached out to Mia, who had a friend at Horizon, Alex Carter. I sent Alex an encrypted file with my evidence, code logs, emails, and a demo of Nexus in action. "This is the real story behind Pinnacle's turnaround," I wrote. Alex replied, "I'll get this to the board. Can you be at the meeting?" I said yes, no hesitation. I wasn't on the invite list, but Mia promised to get me in as her +1. I spent weeks preparing a presentation, slides showing Nexus's impact, my original code, and David's emails taking credit. I practiced my speech until it was razor-sharp, calm, but undeniable. The night before the meeting, I stood in my apartment, staring at my tailored navy dress. My laptop was packed, my evidence backed up. I texted Mia. "Ready?" She replied, "Born ready. David's gonna choke." I smiled, my nerves electric. Tomorrow, in that Raleigh boardroom, I'd stop being just the assistant and show them who really saved Pinnacle. Hey, if you're hooked on this story, hit that subscribe button for Revenge Line. We bring you epic family drama and revenge tales every week. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Stay tuned because Olivia's about to turn the tables. The board meeting at Pinnacle Innovations was 10 days away, and I, Olivia Grant, was in my small Raleigh apartment, meticulously crafting my plan to reclaim the credit for Nexus, the data analytics platform that had saved the company from collapse. My boss, David Mercer, thought he'd walk into that boardroom and dazzle Horizon Capital's investors with his project, while my sister Vanessa and brother Ethan, who'd mocked me as just the assistant at our family's Easter brunch, would be there to witness his supposed triumph. They had no idea I'd built Nexus from scratch, coding late into the night for 3 years, turning Pinnacle's failing supply chain into a multi-million-dollar asset. They thought I was a glorified errand runner, stuck in a dead-end job at a dying firm. But I was done being invisible. The boardroom would be my stage, and I'd make sure the truth in my name left them speechless. I started by fortifying my evidence, knowing David's connections with Pinnacle's CEO, Karen Walsh, could bury me if I wasn't airtight. I had a treasure trove of proof, emails to David with Nexus's detailed specs, predictive algorithms, cost projections, and performance metrics, all time-stamped from my personal laptop, dating back to when I first pitched the idea 3 years ago. One email was particularly damning. David's response, "Olivia, this is solid. I'll present it to Karen as mine for impact." Impact? I'd spent countless nights debugging code, analyzing supply chain data, and running simulations while he was schmoozing clients at steak dinners. I also had meeting notes from early Nexus tests, where David referred to it as Olivia's prototype, before quietly dropping my name. My coworker Mia, who'd helped me test the platform, had saved chat logs from our internal system, showing I'd led every phase of development. "Mia, this is my shot," I told her over coffee at a quiet Raleigh cafe, away from Pinnacle's prying eyes. I showed her my evidence folder, hundreds of files, organized like a legal case. She leaned back, whistling. "You're going for the jugular, Liv. David's gonna crash and burn." I nodded, my jaw tight. He stole my work and got a bonus while I got a pat on the head. I'm done playing nice. Mia grinned. "What about Vanessa and Ethan? They'll be there, right?" I sipped my coffee, my eyes narrowing. They called me a secretary in a sinking ship. Let them watch me save it. To get into the boardroom, I needed an ally with clout. Mia's friend at Horizon Capital, Alex Carter, was my in. I'd already sent him my encrypted file, code logs, emails, and a video demo of Nexus saving a $5 million contract with a major client. Alex called me the next day. "Olivia, this is explosive," he said. "Karen Walsh is on the board and she's skeptical of David's claims. I'll make sure you're in the room." I asked him to keep my name off the guest list until the last minute. Surprise was my weapon. Alex agreed, adding, "I've got a contact at Pinnacle's audit team, Rachel Nguyen. She can verify your code logs if it comes to that." I thanked him, feeling my plan lock into place. I also reached out to Rachel Nguyen directly, sending her an anonymous email with a sample of my evidence. "Check Nexus's development logs," I wrote. "The credited lead isn't the real creator." Rachel replied, "I'll look into it. Be at the meeting." Her tone was curt, but I sensed she was intrigued. Pinnacle's audit team had been sniffing around David's projects after rumors of inflated performance reports. My evidence could tip the scales. Back at Pinnacle, I played the part of the dutiful assistant. David was prepping for the board meeting, strutting through the Raleigh office, barking orders. "Olivia, make sure my slides are perfect," he said, not even looking at me. I nodded, smiling, while quietly saving his latest email, where he'd written, "Nexus is my ticket to the C-suite." His ego was blinding him. He didn't suspect I was planning to upend his world. I tweaked his slides, subtly rearranging data to make his presentation lean on Nexus's technical details, knowing he couldn't explain them. He'd never touched the code. I needed to prepare for Vanessa and Ethan, too. They'd be in the boardroom, Vanessa as Horizon's legal counsel, Ethan as a tech consultant pitching his own startup to the investors. They'd texted me after Easter, Vanessa with her usual condescension. Liv, maybe try law school. Admin work's a dead end. Ethan was blunter. Pinnacle's toast. Get out while you can. I didn't reply, letting them think I was still the quiet sister, too timid to fight back. But I'd invited them to the meeting through Alex, posing as a Horizon assistant. You're requested at Pinnacle's board meeting for a critical presentation. Their egos ensured they'd RSVP yes. I spent nights refining my presentation, knowing it had to be flawless. It opened with Nexus's impact, $10 million in saved contracts, 40% cost reduction, and a 25% boost in delivery efficiency. I included a timeline of my work, with emails and logs proving I'd built it from scratch. One slide showed David's email claiming credit, anonymized but unmistakable. I added a live demo of Nexus, showing real-time data from Pinnacle's supply chain, with metrics no one but the creator could explain. My speech was calm but cutting, designed to expose David without sounding bitter. I practiced in my apartment, pacing in front of a mirror until every word was perfect. I also dug into David's track record for leverage. Mia helped me pull internal reports showing his other projects had underperformed. Nexus was his only win, and it wasn't even his. I found expense reports he'd fudged, claiming client meetings that never happened. If he tried to discredit me, I'd have plenty to fire back. I sent a copy to Rachel Nguyen, adding, "This might interest the audit team." She didn't reply, but I knew she'd seen it. The week before the meeting, I met Mia at a Raleigh park to go over the plan. "You're walking into a lion's den," she said, tossing a frisbee to her dog. David's got Karen wrapped around his finger. I caught the frisbee, tossing it back. Not after this. The investors want results, not charm. Nexus is my proof. Mia grinned. "And your family? They're gonna lose it when you step up." I nodded, my eyes on the horizon. They've underestimated me my whole life. Time to set the record straight. I also prepared for the fallout. Vanessa was a lawyer. She'd try to spin this as a misunderstanding. Ethan, with his tech ego, might claim he could have built Nexus better. I had answers ready. Vanessa's firm had no stake in Pinnacle's tech, and Ethan's startups had never scaled past beta. My evidence was bulletproof, and I'd deliver it with the calm precision of someone who'd been dismissed too long. The day before the meeting, I got a call from Alex. "Karen's asking questions about Nexus's origins," he said. "Your files got her attention. She wants you to speak after David." I smiled, my heart racing. Perfect. I packed my laptop, USB drive, and navy dress, checking everything twice. I texted Mia, "It's go time." She replied with a fist bump emoji. "Give 'em hell, Liv." That night, I stood in my apartment, staring at the Raleigh skyline. David thought he'd steal my spotlight. Vanessa and Ethan thought I was a nobody. Tomorrow, they'd see the truth in my name. Hey, if you're loving this revenge story, smash that subscribe button for Revenge Line. We drop epic family drama and takedowns every week. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Stay tuned, because Olivia's about to make the boardroom shake. The boardroom at Pinnacle Innovations in Raleigh, North Carolina, was a sleek fortress of glass and steel filled with executives, investors from Horizon Capital, and the weight of a company teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. I, Olivia Grant, stood at the back, my laptop loaded with evidence proving I'd built Nexus, the data analytics platform that had saved Pinnacle from collapse. My boss, David Mercer, was at the podium, ready to claim credit for my work in front of the board, the CEO, Karen Walsh, and, most importantly, my sister Vanessa and brother Ethan, who'd mocked me as just the assistant at our family's Easter brunch. They thought I was a nobody, fetching coffee for a failing firm. Today, in this boardroom, I'd reveal the truth in my name, and the silence would be deafening. I'd spent weeks preparing for this moment, my evidence airtight. Emails to David with Nexus's specs, meeting notes calling it Olivia's prototype, and code logs from my personal laptop, time-stamped 3 years back. My coworker Mia, who'd tested Nexus with me, stood by my side, ready to back me up. Alex Carter, my contact at Horizon Capital, had ensured I was on the guest list, slipped in as Mia's +1. Rachel Nguyen from Pinnacle's audit team had seen my anonymous file, hinting she'd be watching David closely. The stage was set, and I was ready to step out of the shadows. David launched into his presentation, his voice smooth and confident, projecting slides I'd built. "Nexus is my vision," he said, gesturing to charts showing a 40% cost reduction and $10 million in saved contracts. I led the team to turn Pinnacle around. The board nodded, impressed. Karen Walsh smiled, her trust in David clear. Vanessa, in her tailored suit as Horizon's legal counsel, scribbled notes, looking proud of her genius boss. Ethan, the tech consultant, leaned back, smirking, probably thinking his startup could have done better. I stood quietly, my navy dress crisp, my laptop ready. They didn't see me. Yet. David's slides hit the technical section, detailing Nexus's predictive algorithms. He stumbled, glossing over the math, saying, "Our team optimized this for efficiency." A Horizon investor, Ms. Patel, raised her hand. "Can you explain the algorithm's real-time data integration?" David froze, his smile faltering. He didn't know the code, my code. I stepped forward, my voice calm but firm. "I can answer that." The room turned, eyes wide. David's face went pale. Vanessa's pen stopped. Ethan's smirk vanished. Karen Walsh leaned forward, her brow furrowed. "I'm Olivia Grant," I said, walking to the podium, my heels clicking on the polished floor. "I'm the creator of Nexus." Gasps rippled through the room. David tried to interrupt. "Olivia, you're just an assistant." I cut him off, connecting my laptop to the projector. "This email from David says, Olivia's prototype is solid. I'll present it as mine." The screen lit up with his words, time-stamped 3 years ago. The boardroom went silent, all eyes on David. Vanessa's face reddened. Ethan shifted uncomfortably. I clicked to the next slide, server logs showing my code commits. I built Nexus from scratch, starting in my apartment, debugging at 2 a.m. while David was at client dinners. I launched a live demo showing Nexus optimizing a supply chain in real time. "This saved $10 million in contracts," I said, pointing to the metrics. I designed the algorithms, tested the platform, and pitched it to David, who took credit. Ms. Patel nodded, jotting notes. Karen Walsh's smile was gone, her gaze locked on me. I showed another slide, David's email to Karen. "Nexus is my ticket to the C-suite." Murmurs spread. Rachel Nguyen from the audit team stood. "I've reviewed Ms. Grant's logs," she said. "They confirm her as the sole developer." David tried to recover. This was a team effort, but Karen cut him off. "Mr. Mercer, sit down. Ms. Grant, continue." I detailed Nexus's impact. 25% faster deliveries, 2 major clients retained, and a projected $20 million in new revenue. "I worked in the background," I said, "because I believed in Pinnacle. But I won't be erased anymore." The board applauded, some standing. Vanessa stared at the floor. Ethan's jaw was tight, his consultant swagger gone. I turned to the personal. "My family is here," I said, nodding at Vanessa and Ethan. "They called me a secretary, said Pinnacle was a sinking ship. They didn't know I was the one keeping it afloat." The room was pin-drop silent. Vanessa's eyes glistened, her lawyer poise crumbling. Ethan muttered something, but no one heard. Karen Walsh stood. "Mrs. Grant, you've saved this company. You're leading Nexus's rollout, effective immediately." The applause was thunderous, Horizon's investors nodding in approval. David was escorted out, his career in ruins. Karen pulled me aside after. "I misjudged you, Olivia. You're promoted to chief strategist. Name your terms." I nodded, my heart pounding with victory. Vanessa approached, her voice shaky. "Liv, I didn't know—" I cut her off. You didn't ask. You mocked me while I was saving Pinnacle. Ethan tried next, mumbling, I didn't mean. I stopped him. You said I was wasting my time. Look who's standing now. The meeting ended with Horizon signing a $50 million investment, thanks to Nexus. Word spread in Raleigh. My parents called, stunned, saying they were proud. I didn't need their pride anymore. I'd built my own. Pinnacle's stock soared, and I got offers from tech giants. But I stayed, leading Nexus's global expansion. The next family brunch was quiet. No more jabs, just respect. Hey, if you loved this epic takedown, smash that subscribe button for Revenge Line. We drop the best family drama and revenge stories every week. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Thanks for joining us. I left the boardroom, the Raleigh skyline glowing outside. They thought I was just the assistant. Now they knew I was the one who saved the day.